this spaceship that we are on is like any other spaceship. It has a life support system, and that life support system is the biosphere. And it provides us everything we need to live on spaceship Earth. The food we eat, the energy that we need, the light, it regulates the temperature, it regulates the weather. And the biosphere is maintained by a crew of citizens on board spaceship Earth. And that crew are all of these myriad of species that share this planet with us. So we're all in it together that way. But many of the crew are more important than others. Some species are just plain passengers, not doing really too much, but having a great time entertaining ourselves. Humans being probably in the first class section of that passenger ship right there. And we're taking up an awful lot of room in that first class section and using up a lot of resources, which means that we're contributing to the death and the extinction of really important crew members. Those species that run this planet, that provide the oxygen that we breathe, that provide the food that we eat, that regulate the weather. The most important, of course, being bacteria and plankton and algae, and then followed up by insects and worms and then fish. People get upset when I say that worms are more important than people, but on spaceship Earth, worms are more important than people because we need the worms to run the spaceship. We don't need people to do it. Passengers are just sitting around, but the worms are making it possible for us to be here. We need the worms, but they don't need us. We need bees, they don't need us. We need fish, they don't need us. So these species are far more important to us because without them, we wouldn't exist. So I think that it's really the responsibility of the passengers on spaceship Earth to watch out for the welfare of the crew members that are running this ship, and that is all of those species, those engineering species, which are maintaining this life support system.
Please welcome Cyrill Gutsch, founder, Parley for the Oceans, with Captain Paul Watson, founder, Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, co-founder Greenpeace, Tim Coombs, co-founder Bionic Yarn, and Shubhankar Ray, global brand director, G-Star Raw.
Hi. So I met Paul 2 years ago, and before that, I didn't have any idea what was going on with the oceans out there. I left a pretty good life and fell into the oceans, actually, because the day I met him, I decided I will not just launch brands and products anymore. I will really dedicate my life and actually the power of my company, which is a little power, to support the cause and to take on a new client, the sea. And back then, the first thing what we did is we started Parley for the Oceans as a collaboration platform where people like us, like the creative industries, meet brands, meet ocean sentinels, work together on raising awareness so more people learn about what's going on out there, as we do today from probably the best teacher ever, Captain Paul Watson. And also initiate and curate projects and collaborations, actually, that have the impact to make a difference and to show how you can combine business with environmental responsibility to make it lucrative, actually, to save this planet and to make it more lucrative to save it than to destroy it. And yeah, please meet Paul. He was actually the reason I landed here on this stage. And yeah, you tell me, or tell us, please, what is going on? What's happening out there with the oceans?
I was raised in a small fishing village in eastern Canada, and over the last 50 years, I've seen a steady, now escalating diminishment of diversity in our oceans, destruction of habitats, the fish populations collapsing, the fisheries collapsing. And one of the things that is contributing to this is that the fact that there's 700 million tons of plastic that is floating around in our ocean in these 6 giant gyres, one of them the size of the state of Texas. And what happens is that these plastic breaks down into small particulate pieces, and that's ingested by fish and by birds and sea turtles and it's leading to quite a high mortality every year.
So talking about these vortexes, can you explain what is happening there and how is the plastic ending in there?
Well, when the plastic is washed down from the shore by the rivers and everything, it gets into the oceans, and then it gets caught in these ocean currents, which then spin it around in large circular masses. And you don't really see it. Sometimes it's way beneath the surface. It washes up on beaches. Just last year, we were collecting tons of this stuff off of the islands of Tonga or Samoa or the Great Barrier Reef. But it's a constantly circulating gyre. And it's there that we can go, I think, and start to extract this plastic.
So plastic at the beaches, plastic in these gyres, plastic is kind of everywhere right now, right? I mean, you find it in fish, you find animals entangled in fish net. What is happening out there? Why is plastic such a problem for marine wildlife? Why is it also a threat for us?
When it breaks down, it looks like plankton, and then birds feed it to the young. The fish ingest it. Right now, they're actually manufacturing toothpaste which have microparticles of plastic in it. These beads of plastic are flushed down toilets or in the sinks and end up in the water systems, and fish mistake these for eggs and eat them, and so it clogs up their intestine. I mean, we had a sperm whale just die recently, and inside was a plastic shopping bag, and that's what killed it. So it's a major problem. Plastic pollution is far worse than oil pollution.
And plastic never dies, really?
It will eventually, over a great deal of period of time, it'll be broken down. But what's happening is that breaking down process is what's causing the problem. It's all these small particulate pieces that, if you examine any beach anywhere in the world, you're going to find plastic in the beach sand.
What will happen if we continue to treat the oceans like that?
Well, it's very simple. If the oceans die, we die. We don't live on this planet with a dead ocean.
Why would we care? I mean, how does it impact the life of everybody in here who are here to make more business?
Well, I think we have to care. If we don't care, we don't have a future.
Okay, and you have a little film with you. It's cut down. It's from Chris Jordan, the guy who went to Midway Island to document what's happening there. Just that you see, this is real, and it's not so healthy to eat the plastic, not for the birds, but also not for you, us. So let's see this little film.
So you can see the problem, but something can be done about this. We can take this plastic off the beaches, we can extract it from the oceans, and then provide an economic incentive by mining that plastic and turning it into recycled products.
So Andy Warhol said, I want to be plastic, and he meant probably I want to be as perfect as plastic. I want to design and model my face as ever, following to all my ideas, and I can change it every day. But on the other hand, he also meant probably I want to live forever. So we created this material which actually lives forever, and it just doesn't belong in the stomach of animals. And we should just kind of try on one side to reduce it as much as we can and not really produce more plastic from disposable products, actually. And we developed a program built on 3 pillars. It's called the Vortex Project, and it has these 3 levels on which we engage ourselves and our partners. And the first one is retrieve and recycle, which actually means get the stuff out, and we can get it right away off the shorelines. And we are working on developing a technology with tons of different people to find ways to extract it from the open sea. And also we can find, and it's the second pillar, ways to immediately close the faucet, to stop using plastic everywhere. And G-Star, and I am super happy to announce that, was the first brand to really come on board. And actually, it was last July that we had the first contact. What happened for you since then?
Well, I think sort of for us, it was very clear that we needed to build a company and a brand that had sustainability and environmental and social impact at the center of our business. So this means it becomes a condition for doing business rather than a responsibility, because the responsibility becomes alibi to some degree. So we decided with Bionic Yarn to be able to utilize reclaimed plastic that's made into yarn, then to manufacture denim, jeans, from this. Also, the thing about sort of smart products and awareness level is that when you've got a kind of denim brand, you've got a conduit or a vehicle to create a level of awareness that operates, you know, on a cool and sexy dimension. So therefore, it has traction for people. So it means that we can accelerate the awareness of this by putting it inside our business, by having it inside our product, and making it very tangible for people. And also, the other thing to say about denim is that denim has this, let's say, universal cultural value because it's an iconic product of streetwear. So it means that sort of if denim in its history has been worn by, you know, rebels, rock stars, outsiders, and outlaws, it has this ability to, let's say, cut through cultural barriers. So it means it can cut through taste, sex, language, culture. So it's a very powerful mechanism through which to deliver this kind of message, and very powerful mechanism through which in consumer culture to affect a level of change.
Back to the yarn, Tim, you designed your company, Tyson, Toussaint, you founded Bionic Yarn back then. You designed a yarn, the Helix patented technology, that actually allows to use this kind of plastic perfectly well, right? It's designed for low-grade plastic.
Yeah, correct. The design of the yarn was created so that you could submerge a plastic that is lower grade, that's been degraded by the elements like sun, wind, water, and then submerge it in the yarn and cover it so that you don't feel the plastic and so that the lower grade properties of that plastic don't affect the quality of the finished product.
So looking at this, it's nearly, I think it was 6 months or something like that until that was implemented in the G-Star company.
Yeah.
It was quite a ride, right? I mean, from starting, you committed, I think, right away. How did that, can you just describe how this whole journey?
Yeah, I mean, we had, when we encountered you guys in Berlin, and I was watching the presentations, prior to this, in, let's say, going back to about 2007, 2008, when we were growing, so we were on a big growth cycle as a brand, and so where our brand is being energized. At that time, we were investigating cotton alternatives. So we're investigating everything from organic cotton to making jeans from nettle. At the same time, we're involved in a United Nations project to raise awareness and mobilize young people for the Millennium Development Goals in order for them to then talk to their global leaders to do something about some of the goals. 2 of those goals were to do with global partnerships and to do with kind of environment. So this opened us to the possibility of something like Parley, ocean pollution, and alternatives to cotton, i.e. bionic yarn. So we were much more open because we'd had, let's say, a sort of, slow burn into using more alternative fabrics, into finding ways to make our product more sustainable, and basically transforming our business so that there was a level of future-proofing in it. So that means that, again, making sustainability a condition for doing business. And I think that we were just very open to that idea. And like with many of these things in life, the timing was right for us.
You made the Vortex project the core of your whole communication budget this year.
Yeah. So basically, for fall winter 2004, all of our marketing spend and all of our communication, so the outputs that go out in the world to energize people and what raises levels of awareness, this was all based around this project. So this will be coming out from September, campaign-wise.
And you created on one side with Bionic Yarn a high-profile product, like an extremely enhanced yarn. This technically advanced, over-competitive product. And you partnered with the Bionic partner and shareholder and creative director Pharrell Williams on developing a specific brand under the G-Star brand, which is a collaborative brand between G-Star and Bionic to support the Vortex project and Parlay for the Oceans. Can you explain a little bit why you decided and how is it to work with Pharrell Williams? I mean, did it kind of thrill you? Or?
One of the things was that we had been developing a brand where we were working with celebrities in an alternative way. So we had history working with everybody from Hollywood actors like Dennis Hopper, Benicio del Toro, Liv Tyler, to sort of contemporary musicians like Skrillex and people like this, so old and young. So in a way, what we were doing was using these guys, rather than being the campaign, as accelerators for ideas. So it was very natural for us to be able to then work with Pharrell, who's deeply involved and committed to the cause and has a shareholding in the business, so he has vested interest, in order to operate as accelerator. At the same time, he has, let's say, a taste level and an influence level. So that means by putting him again in the center of the development, means that Pharrell is co-creating that product with us. So going back to your previous slide about sort of, making fashion products out of it, it means that it creates something unique, and two, it's operating on a, let's say, market dynamic level of the stuff's, the product itself looks cool, is on point, so it has a desire level. So the primary thing in terms of somebody's interaction with it is it looks cool, it's going to look good on me, there's a desire level. And then secondary, it releases another message regarding plastic pollution and future sustainable fabric sources to make product. So it's in a way, it's about sort of Pharrell being directly involved in the product development, so his hand and his taste is in the design level, and at the same time, to be able to boost awareness relatively quickly when it all comes out in September, because high visibility, sort of global star who's at the top of his game.
So very quick, like just an overview, why did it help the G-Star brand and what is in it for you? Why are you doing this?
I think primarily because we are committed to innovation. We believe that one aspect of innovation is about sustainability, and so it becomes central to our products. So it was a very natural collaboration for us, because we see the future and innovation in the future as being sustainable.
What do you think about all that, Paul? I mean, you are founding partner of the Vortex project. How do you feel about the collaboration? What is the reason you are behind the Vortex project?
Well, the strength of any ecosystem is in diversity. Therefore, the strength of any movement or it has to be in diversity. A diversity of approaches, bringing together corporations and government and scientists and environmentalists and everything to find a solution. And I think that this is what this project is doing, is bringing all these groups together to find solutions.
Okay, we are nearly at the end. We're going to show you a little quick... Oh, before we do that, you have hopefully something to show.
Yeah, just so that
this is not a dream, this is real.
We really did make the product. So this is denim made out of bionic yarn. So this is denim made from reclaimed plastic, and this is the first product. So this is what will go on sale in September. So nobody's seen this product yet. So this is a sneak preview for you guys.
We just changed that part.
And, because we don't, most people with fashion...
Can you hold it up for a second so everybody sees? I mean,
they expect sort of, some kind of fashion show, but we're not going to do this. So we're going to have our trusted model here, Tim, sort of put it on. and then this will be
And
the
he's a
fir-
good dancer, so he's going to show some dance moves now.
Exactly. And soon we'll have the choreography starting, so he'll be able to do that performance. But so this is the.
It looks better on the screen, you know. So, but you see, it's real. I mean, it's made from ocean plastic, and learn more on thevortexproject.org or 40oceans.org, and let's see a last little film, and then thank you for having us. Awesome.
Dear human beings, we vacation by the oceans. We bathe in the oceans. We eat from the oceans. But very few of us think of the oceans beyond what we want from it. The oceans need us now. It's filling up with plastic and ruining the neighborhood. G-Star and Bionic Yarn want you to come together for Big Blue and wear the responsibility for the oceans. Happy life, happy human beings, and happy oceans.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. If love is too high, bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Bye.